Its relationship had dissolved into a bitter dispute over this ranch house, resting atop 14 acres of rolling Georgia countryside.
They lost property, and they had it both of their names.
Tim tells police that the feud began after his father had struck a deal with Connie, signing over his share of the property to her to help her get custody of her children.
And he told me that as soon as she got custody of the kids, she would sign that back over.
Shortly after Fred signed over his share of the property, Tim tells investigators Connie double-crossed him.
He told me about the relationship, how it went sour, how she kicked him out, called the sheriff's department, kicked him out, and wanted nothing to do with Fred. He knew that he filed a suit against her and she was served.
2 days before he disappeared, Fred Wilkerson had sued Donald Queens, seeking to recoup his investment in the home. Tim believes this to be a motive for murder.
I knew that something happened, so we were super. We fought for everyone.
Investigators sit down with Connie Queens to gather her side of the story.
Connie Queens denied that she has seen Fred in any since the 13th of November.
Connie tells police her relationship with Fred Wilkerson was strictly business.
She denied having a sexual relationship with Fred. She said that she allowed Fred to move into her house to be close to his work, so he could work on the house as the contractor.
From the start, though, the home was to be hers, according to her. And Fred Wilkerson knew that he had no ownership to it.
She was claiming the opposite of what Tim was saying.
She gave a plausible explanation for everything.
She was calm, cool, matter of fact, gave no indicators that she was lying.
In the back of your mind, you could think that she's involved somehow.
Detectives had their suspicions about Queens, but no hard evidence tying her to Fred Wilkerson's disappearance.
There was, like I say, but always some information coming up where somebody saw him here, saw him there.
In time, she is placed on the back burner, and the investigation begins to look elsewhere for her.
Daddy, why does my friend use a 9-door TV in Arizona
We always
that
had to leave that little
he
door.
like barely goes to Arizona in every year?
In the months that follow,
He should
records
get
checks
small
show
tea
no
for that.
activity on accounts or the social security number
Right.
belonging to Fred Wilkerson, and a number of sightings turn out to be false leads. Time passes. Wilkerson's fate remains a mystery. It soon evolves into the stuff of local legend.
Everybody in town, I guess, I say that, most people that I talk to.
Lee West is a newspaperman. In the spring of 1995, he picks up on a hint of rumor about Fred Wilkerson.
The talk around town was that Connie Queens actually killed him, or had him killed or something, and because of the squabble over the property out there.
The chatter about Fred picked up after Connie hired a crew to fill in an old abandoned well on the back of her property.
That immediately made us think she's covering something up. And that's everybody's talk was, Fred's in the well.
The local gossip soon becomes local headlines when Connie Queens takes legal action to declare Fred Wilkerson dead.
We were very upset because, we had nothing to gain by declaring him dead,
Connie, on the other hand, has thousands at stake after making 7 years of payments on a life insurance policy for Wilkerson.
My question was, why would somebody keep paying it each month if they didn't know the person was dead? Because if he lived to be 90 years old, they would, they'd pay more than they would have collected. But we hired an attorney and learned that there's nothing we could do.
On May 24th, 1995, Fred Wilkerson is declared dead by a Georgia county judge. A few months later, Connie Queens cashes a life insurance check for $12,000.
At the time we contacted Connie,
Willis Grizzard is an investigator with the Troup County Sheriff. He still has his doubts about Queens and asks her to come into the station for a date with his polygraph machine.
so when we set the schedule up, we scheduled a polygraph. She did a no-show.
Connie Queens declines to cooperate with the investigation.
Just did not have enough evidence to put us on the property for a search.
I
I mean, like I said, the libel laws get you. I couldn't say that Fred's in the well.
Fred is in the well. That is the prevailing sentiment in the town of LaGrange, Georgia, where over the years Wilkerson's fate remains a favorite topic of discussion. Until a rainy night in Georgia, when a burst of lightning turns the local legend into flesh and bone.
In May of 2003, we had a storm come through LaGrange, Georgia. All of a sudden, the lights went off in my house.
Pete Scandalakis is the district attorney working in Troup County, Georgia. In the spring of 2003, a thunderstorm toppled a pine tree, crushing his brand new pickup truck.
I walked out, I saw my truck that had been crushed by the tree, and I started laughing, and I said, okay, God, why me? Why is this going to happen? I know there's some reason.
The reason remains a mystery
That's
until
about to be
Scandalakis pilots his crippled truck to a nearby body shop owned by
Daddy.
Tim Wilkerson,
Tim
the
put
same
like
Tim
an
Wilkerson
ad.
whose father
but
Fred went
I
missing
guess
in
that ad was
1987 and has
like-
not been seen since.
Tim was aware of the fact that we recently solved another cold case file.
The Troup County DA's office had recently made headlines after cracking a 33-year-old murder case in the nearby town of Hogansville.
I didn't know any of the real details, but when I knew it was 20-something years old, I felt for the family, and I thought that was great. We talked about it.
When Wilkerson mentions his father's disappearance, Scandalakis listens and remembers.
I was familiar with that case because I was an assistant DA when Mr. Wilkerson disappeared. Plus, I was not satisfied with the conclusion that some people had that Mr. Wilkerson had run away and had simply abandoned his family.
He was not the kind of man that would leave his family.
Clay Bryant is a special investigator with the Troup County DA. At the request of Pete Scandalakis, Bryant pulls out the Wilkerson file and meets with the Wilkerson family.
After an hour with them, I was very well